Dear friends, I understand that many people in the world, and already some in Ukraine, believe that for the sake of peace, in order to put an end to this massive killings of Ukrainian citizens by Russian terrorist occupational force, we Ukrainians have to give up our civilizational choice. And we Ukrainians should accept a non-bloc status. But from my perspective, Ukraine should not accept this ultimatum of Putin and his demand on neutral status. Why do I think so? It was exactly when Ukraine, according to our legislation, was a non-bloc country, was non-aligned country back in 2014. At that particular point, Putin has attacked Ukraine and grabbed part of our territories, both in Crimea, and started occupying our eastern territories. At that point, he opportunistically used the chance when Ukraine was weakened in order to carry out at least part of his plan of destroying Ukraine and thus cutting off parts of our territories. So at that particular point, Ukrainians in 2013, according to sociological polls, only 18% of Ukrainians have been supportive of NATO membership at that point. So only after Putin attacked, only after he started killing our people on our territories, the support for Ukraine's NATO membership has been growing. And now it reached historical, absolutely 76% of support all across the country. Also, in the eastern regions, whom many believe that they are not pro-Western. But Putin made them to be pro-Western. Putin made Ukrainian nation to become a political nation, to become united in our only desire to be free, to be democratic, to rejoin the community of civilized states such as European Union and NATO. I want to use this opportunity to remind the world that we did have this sheet of paper that did not protect us, the Budapest Memorandum. According to that memorandum, Ukraine has given up its third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world. But we were promised some assurances that if someone attacks us, we will be protected, that our territorial integrity, sovereignty, and independence will stay intact. We understand now that this document was not legally binding. We understand that that document did not protect us. But from my perspective, it was at least morally binding document. And if not for Russian Federation, then for UK and the US. And even though we are appreciative and grateful for all the support we are receiving today from the US, from UK, from France, as signatories to this document, we also see that any other type of guarantees than joining real security political union such as NATO are not working. So that Budapest Memorandum leaves me with little to no trust for any other security guarantees for Ukraine than by joining a North Atlantic alliance. So neutrality status for Ukraine today means that tomorrow Ukraine will have to be federalized according to Russian demands. And then at some point it will have to become some southern district of regional district of Russian Federation. I believe that neutrality today means slavery for Ukrainians tomorrow. We will not agree to that. Neutral status for Ukraine would mean that in the 21st century, we are returning to the concept of the 19th century of great power politics and policies and spheres of influence. That would mean that if Russia said no, all the others followed and agreed that Ukraine is in some virtual sphere of interest of the Russian Federation. But the thing is that this great power politics has never actually led to a resolving of security issues. It is exactly that great power politics that led to the First and Second World Wars. And that is exactly that great power politics, when Russia decided to return, to regain its great power status, led to Russian start of the war against Ukraine. So for us Ukrainians, nuclear status would mean that we are losing our subjectivity, and that in the future we will slowly, gradually become part of we will be pushed to become part of the Russian orbit of influence. We cannot agree to that. If Ukraine today loses its NATO membership perspective, that would be a colossal demotivation for most passionate, most motivated part of the Ukrainian citizens. That would cause additional cracks in now united Ukrainian society. Because then all the questions arise: why did we have the revolution of dignity? Why our heavenly 100 died? Why thousands of Ukrainian soldiers, starting from 2014, defending Ukraine, have died, if not for the ability to choose our own path, if not for the ability to be free, democratic, and prosperous in the future. So agreeing to Putin terms, from my perspective, that would mean not only loss for the Ukrainian society, but it would mean defeat of the West, who got scared of Putin's nuclear blackmail, who got scared of Putin's tactics and his pressure against Ukraine, and his pressure also against Western countries.